Hello and welcome to Sunday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic on another roasting hot day here in the UK. It is absolutely baking. But I've got a job to do today, you know. I'm going to be attempting this puzzle that so many of you have written to me about. It's called On and Off. It's by Kaktuslav, the great Kaktuslav, who is on an absolute tear at the moment. And lots of you have said that this must be the puzzle of the year, which I believe you. Don't get me wrong. I believe you. I've read the rules, and they're slightly terrifying because, yeah, because I can't. My simple brain, it reads the rules, it understands the English of the rules, but it doesn't actually understand the implications at all. So that is going to be potentially a problem. But this is going to be my job in the heat to have a go at today. So I'm very, very much looking forward to this one. It is meant to be an absolute worldie. Before we kick off, what can I mention? We've got one day left if you'd like to enter the monthly competition over on Patreon and be in with a chance of, let me see if I can show you. Is it that one? Yeah, be in with a chance of coming onto the channel and appearing in a video and solving a puzzle. So if that might appeal, do get your entries in soon. Lots and thousands of you have been solving these puzzles and absolutely loving them. The feedback we've had has been so good. So yeah, basically do have a go. You will have fun. And that is, after all, the aim of the game. What else? I've got one birthday to do today. Let me go to my my birthday note. I want to wish Dom a very happy birthday for tomorrow, actually. The same day as the moon landing. Oh, okay, so the 20th of July was the date of the first moon landing, was it? I did not know that, but Dom, your partner Kirsty wrote to me and told me that you're turning 34, and I think you introduced Kirsty to the channel about a year into your dating lives together. And were you shy about one of the great hobbies? I don't understand that at all. But I know you've been together for a few years now, and apparently you both watch the videos now, and sometimes compete over the puzzles, which I fully approve of too. Anyway, Dom, I hope you have a great birthday tomorrow, and I don't think there'll be a moon landing tomorrow, but hopefully there'll be a large slice of very heavily iced chocolate cake. And I think that's all the news. Please like, please subscribe. You know the drill. Let's have a look at the rules to On and Off by Kaktuslav. What do we have to do to solve this puzzle correctly? We've got normal sudoku rules applying. So we're going to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Then we have to draw a single path through the centres of cells. The path may not branch, cross itself, or visit any cell more than once. Segments of the path alternate between diagonal segments joining two cells that touch at a corner. So let's just stop there. I mean, even this part of the rules I wasn't sure I understood when I read them before. Segments of the path alternate between diagonal segments joining two cells that touch at a corner. So if we find two cells that touch at a corner, let's pick those two. Oh, no, because they don't touch at a corner, they touch at an edge. I see, so I have to do those two. Okay, and the path goes through the centres of cells. Right, okay, all right, I understand that. So that's a segment, I think. Segments of the path alternate between diagonal segments joining two cells that touch at a corner, and vertical segments joining two vertically adjacent cells. Oh, I see. So, oops, I was going to do that and that. Is that legitimate? Any 4 consecutive cells along the path. Okay, well, I've got 4 now. Any 4... In fact, let's just go a bit further. So then this would go diagonally again, and this would go diagonally again. Because I have to alternate every time, and then I'd have to go straight again and straight again. So I can create weird, like, patterns down the grid. And then any 4 consecutive cells along the path contain digits with 4 different remainders when divided by 4. So, I mean, I've seen quite a lot of puzzles in the past where we've been dealing with mod 3, division by 3, and making sure you've got 3 different remainders, i.e. remainders 0, 1 or 2. But here we've got, presumably, remainders 0, 1, 2 and 3. So if this had a 0 remainder, it could just be a 4. If this had it doesn't have to have a 1 remainder, because it could have a 2, it could have a 3 remainder. Let's make it a 3, give it a 3 remainder. Then this could have a 1 remainder, that could be a 5. And then this would, right, so if we were in this position, then both this cell and this cell would have, because we haven't had a remainder 2 digit, have we? So these would have to be, I see, they'd have to be, one of them would have to be a 2 and one of them would have to be a 6. Because they couldn't both be 2. There's 2 digits from the digits 1 to 9 that have a remainder of 2 when divided by 4, I think, and they're 2 and 6, it feels like. So that is a potential way we could organise the line. And there's just one more paragraph. It says, every square lies on the path. I've managed to get no squares on my path, so all of those would be on the path. Every circle lies off the path, so these would all be off the path. If a square contains the digit n, then digit n occurs exactly n times on the path. If a circle contains digit n, then digit n occurs exactly n times in cells not on the path. Right, so if that was a 5, that would be saying, right, that's off the path, is it? Yeah, that's a circle, so it's off the path. So the digit 5 appears exactly, it says exactly 5 times, not on the path, which implies, I suppose, that it would appear exactly 4 times on the path. And what would happen if, on the other hand, this was a 5? If this was a 5, which it can't be, but if that was a 5, then there's 5 5s on the path. I think if a square contains a 5, then the digit 5 occurs exactly 5 times on the path. Yeah, so that is how the rules work. Incredibly original rule set, actually. Let me just see if I can delete. Yes, I can. I can delete everything there. Do have a go. This is meant to be an absolute worldie. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play. Let's get cracking. So, we don't actually know, do we, where the path starts and stops. I sort of want it to start there because it looks like it wants to. Is that the most illogical thing I've ever said on the channel? Now, I'm sure I've done a Kaktuslav puzzle before. I think it was Kaktuslav, but it was diagonal, and it might have been diagonal and horizontal movements were possible. I can't quite remember, but there is a puzzle I've done, and I want to say about a year ago, with some rule set that I don't think it had. I think it might have had mod 3 in it rather than mod 4. And that puzzle, if it's the one I'm thinking of, resulted in some sort of diagonal implication. I really hope I'm not going to have to work this out, because that is going to be absolutely terrifying. I probably am going to have to think about things like that, aren't I? I mean, this is clearly not going to be... If people are saying puzzle of the year, they're saying that because this is going to require some sort of, unalloyed genius in order to solve it. If you put a 5 in a square, you can't put 5 in a circle, can you? Because because there is an odd number of digits in a sudoku, i.e. the digit 1 appears 9 times, the digit 2 appears 9 times, all the digits appear 9 times. So if you were to put whatever digit you put into a square or a circle, you couldn't match it, because it's not saying at least 4 times. If you put a 4 into a circle, it's not saying the digit 4 appears at least 4 times off the path. It's saying exactly, which means it's got to be exactly 5 times on the path. So there is no correspondence between circles and squares. And there are at least 4 different digits in circles because of column 1. Now, in terms of squares, squares are horrible in terms of trying to work out how many different numbers are in squares, because, I mean, I think in theory they could just be 2 different numbers. Those 2 definitely have to be different. But the rest of them could be, imagine this was a 9. I mean, you could literally, all of those could then be 9. No, that one. Oh, hang on, there is a repeat in row 7 as well. Okay, but yeah, I mean, you could do a lot of 7s and 8s, I think. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, and double 8. So there's no restriction, really, in the squares. There's a small restriction in the circles. And I'm just looking at the rules again. And the rules say the path may not branch across itself or visit any cell more than once. Segment, and then we've got this weird definition of segments. Any 4 consecutive cells along the path contain 4 different remainders. So, okay, so the digits that have a 1 remainder are 1, 5, and 9. The digits that have a 2 remainder are 2 and 6. The digits that have a 3 remainder are 3 and 7. And the digits that have a 4 remainder, or 0 remainder, I should more precisely say, are 4 and 8. But it's not like, how do we even know where... I mean, let's say this was the start of the path. How am I meant to know what that is in terms of what remainder it has? And then say the next cell was there. How am I meant to know what remainder that has? I don't know. Okay, let's think a bit more about how this path is built then, because the path has to have vertical segments separated by diagonal segments. So let's go back to my earlier example. So if that's a vertical, then it's got to go diagonally, but from that cell, sorry, I'm just pausing because I'm just trying to make it, in my mind, has it really got all 4 diagonal options is the question I've got in my mind. So if it drops from here to here and it's in this cell, can it go in all 4 diagonal directions? And from there, it could go up or down off the sides of all of these, couldn't it? Okay, so if it arrived in this cell, it could arrive... If it arrived from a vertical segment, it arrives either from the above or below. It can then go in one of 4 directions, so it sort of explodes outwards. And from there, it goes... It's like it's a car on a motorway. and it goes into an adjacent lane. So after 2 moves, it's moved lanes in the motorway. And so okay, so every 2 moves, it either goes into its own lane, it goes back into its own lane, or it goes further away, doesn't it? So let's say it was here. Hang on. So it goes here, moves diagonally, stays in its lane. And now it's got to do a diagonal. So it either goes back into its original lane, or back over there, or back into its original lane, or so it then goes, it can move one more lane over again. And then once it gets there, it goes straight, down or up there, but I can't do 2 colours and down or up there. So it behaves a bit like it's a car on a motorway. So sorry, let me just think about this. I'm trying to understand how that car movement relates to the modularities. Because whatever the modularity is in this cell, is it parity? Is that what's going on? If I'm not sure. Because like 3 remainder digits are both odd, 3 and 7. 2 remainder digits are both even, 2 and 6. 1 remainder digits are 1, 5, 9. They're all odd. And 0 remainder digits are both even again. So whatever the parity of this cell is, let's say it was even, then by the time you get to one of those positions, which is going to be your place position after 2 moves. That's not quite okay. Here's a different point. Sorry, I've got distracted with myself now, but just something I've just noticed as we've done that is that after 2 moves, I'm either a knight's move away from myself, or I'm sort of adjacent to myself. So I've either sort of accelerated into the other lane, or I've just moved exactly sideways, or I've decelerated into another lane. And drop backwards, but I don't drop backwards linearly after 2 moves. So, yeah, but okay, but it's more 4 moves. It's 4 moves I should be thinking about, isn't it? Because 4 moves gets me back to the original. Yeah, 4 moves gets me back to the original modularity of the blue digit. So let's say that this was a 4 or an 8. So it's 0 mod 4. 0 remainder when divided by 4. Then, yeah, if we look at the positions, we could, I mean, the thing is, I only did them for this string. If I went down here, look, into this particular position. But I think the principles are common. So if I was in blue and I moved to this position after 2 moves, then after 4 moves, I'm going to be here, 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 or here. I'm going to be in one of those positions. Or could I be back there? Oh, hang on. Could I be back where I started? I didn't think of that. No, well, I can't, but only because I'm not allowed to revisit cells. But otherwise, I could have been. So the blue modularity, which I'm saying is a 0 mod 4 modularity, reoccurs it reoccurs either in my own column, my own lane of the motorway, or sort of 2 lanes away. So if I'm in the fast lane of the motorway, it never reoccurs. It actually can never reoccur in the adjacent lane. It can't ever be in the middle lane. It's impossible. It has to reoccur either in the lane I'm in already, or in the inside lane, 2 lanes over. And sort of missing out a lane is a better way of putting it, because some people's motorways might not have 3 lanes, they might have 4 or something. But so, sorry, how has this taken us forward? We have learnt that in this puzzle, any path sorry, I can't get this. Any path I don't know. I think this is. I've even stopped talking. I apologise. I can't get this clear in my head. I can see the bald fact, which is that the modularity I'm on at the moment repeats. It must repeat either in my lane or skip a lane, if you see what I mean, or skip a column. But what I can't see is what that means, if indeed it means anything. This is very hard. This is okay. That's where we're up to. This is very hard. Let me look at the rules again. Draw a single path through the squares, basically, isn't it? So we have to visit these cells. It's not a loop or anything. It's just a path, it says. But it doesn't tell us where the path starts or stops. Segments of the path. I understand I understand in the loosest sense how segments work. Any 4 consecutive cells have to have all 4 remainders. Okay, well, I sort of understand that, but I don't really understand how that leads me to anything. And every square is on the path. All the circles are off the path. Those things I understand. And then we've got this sort of counting circles or counting squares type rule about I'm confused now. Sorry, I'm just going to get rid of this because I don't really understand what that's doing. Let's highlight all these. All those are on the path. All these are off the path. So we do have to get to there. I mean, this might be the start or the end of the path. So what you can't do is go, that is a cell that's midway along the path. Because if it was midway along the path, then you could never get to this cell or from this cell to this cell, because horizontal movements are not possible. So we would actually, if we could prove this wasn't the end of the path, we would have that. We could draw that straight in, and then this couldn't close, so that would have to go like that, and then this would have to not go down, so it would go like that. Then it has to do a diagonal, so you'd actually get loads drawn if you knew that this was not the beginning or the end of the path. Then you'd have to go down, then you could go up or down. But that assumes, that isn't the end of the path, which it could be. That's weird. So I was about to say, and this disproves my earlier thing, because it's quite clear that this could repeat its modularity in this position, because I was sort of looking at this thinking that seemed a very long line. But it actually can't. Because whatever this modularity is, it will repeat its modularity in 4 cells time. So it's going to depend where this goes. And that's got to do a diagonal, which is going to be there, 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 or there. So it does not end up in that column, does it? So the modularity of that one, whether or not this is the start or the end of the path, will either be in that one or in that one. Oh. Now, I have just had a sensible thought. Okay, I have just had a sensible thought. I think this is the first sensible thought I've had. I might have just had a very sensible thought. I'm not sure it's correct, though. Oh no, I'm not sure it is correct. But it's the digit, not the modularity. So if whatever the hang on, let's just give this one a colour. I'm just going to give that one a colour. And what I was going to say, and I'm not sure it's correct, but I'll say it, and then we can think about it together. Is how could that be a big number? But because what I've just been looking at with my motorways is that whatever this number is, whatever is it the modularity? It is the modularity. Yeah, but the modularity sort of converts when you actually put something in. Yeah, okay. When you actually put something into a square, it matters. So what I mean by that is we have to sort of hybridize our concepts of modularity and counting. Let me try to explain. I'm not even sure this is right, actually. Okay, here's my thought. Let's imagine this is a 6 in the corner of the grid. How is that possible? Because I just don't think it is. I just don't think. Oh no, I might be wrong. I can't get it clear in my head. The reason I think that might be a problem is because what I said is that this modularity, whatever it is, can only repeat either in my own motorway column or in a column that's sort of misses out the adjacent column, the adjacent lane. So whatever this is, it could repeat in this, it could repeat in this, it could repeat in this, and it could repeat in this. So I think it is right, isn't it? So okay, let me change the question. Because what's confusing me is why couldn't I have a 2 in this column? In this modularity. But I almost think that's a misnomer. The point is that if I put 6 here, that is saying, because of the rules of the puzzle, that is saying you must put 6 6s on the path. You must, Simon. You must put 6 6s on the path. But I can't do that because I can only put this modularity on the path, mind, obviously there's going to be a 6 in this column, and there's going to be a 6 in this column, etc. But if I want to put that 6 on the path, then it has to be in the odd columns, of which there are 5. So you can't put, it's impossible that could be a 6. I think it's true for all of these, because in fact it's going to be better. Look at this one. This one is in an even column. So its modularity is capable of repeating on the path only in alternating columns, which are these positions. So whatever the modularity is of this, I can put it in this column. I obviously can't put whatever this digit is again in this column, but I can put it in this column, and this column. If I want to put it on the path, I can't put it in this column. It just doesn't work because of the way the path moves. So this digit is actually even more constrained than this digit. This digit could be a 5. This digit can't even be a 5. It could be a 4. So I don't know what that means. I mean I think it is legitimate to label these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not if they're in an even column, which that one is, it can't be a 5. You see, it's interesting, isn't it? Loads of them are in odd columns. Now, sorry, I know I've stopped talking. I don't mean to. So does that mean these are the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 somehow? I mean, the thing is, there's nothing that prevents you having a same digit in a square. Every square lies on the path. Every circle lies off the path. A digit in a square contains n. It doesn't say. Yeah, I think it's possible that these contain repeated digits. Some of them can't repeat. If that one does repeat, it has to repeat in those cells, because these cannot be on the path and have this modularity. I'm almost getting this. So if they were if these were for some reason 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, are they 6, 7, 8, 9? Maybe. Okay, so how long is the path then? If the path, no, you've got to be very careful with that. No, I've spotted a lacuna in my logic. Right, let's say loads of these were 5s. And let's say that these digits were not the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They were some subset of those, and these are obviously all different. But let's say that there is a 9th digit, and there might be more than one digit. But let's say that there exists in this puzzle a digit that is neither in a square ever or in a circle ever. Then what is to prevent that digit from appearing 9 times on the line? Nothing, don't think. So, I don't know quite how to do this, I'm afraid. Okay, what I'm going to do instead, I think, is try to understand how this logic works in the rows. Does it work the same way or different ways? So in other words, I don't really want to look at that one because I think that might be constrained by being in the corner. Let's pick a totally new cell. Let's pick this one. Let's say that this is on the path and it has a particular modularity. I should have paid more. I didn't think about this when I did my motorways. But what I want to now imagine is that the motorway is running like this. So it's running east to west or west to east rather than up and down. And I want to try and understand whether there is any pattern that's applying in the rows. Now, so how are we going to do that? We've firstly got to decide how we ended up in this cell. So we could have ended, let's say our next move is a diagonal. So if our next move is a diagonal, we are moving out of our lane, which I'm saying is running this way. And then I've got to do a vertical. So I can never do a horizontal. So I'm then doing a vertical. So my end positions are, I do a vertical, I do a vertical, I do a vertical. So I started here, and after 2 moves, I'm in one of those positions, I think. So that is, none of those positions are in an adjacent lane. Yeah, so I mean, and if I repeat that process, I'm clearly, it's not like I'm suddenly going to end up in this lane or this lane, am I? So from here, I have to do a diagonal move. Let's just use this one as an example. But I think I now can see what's going to happen. So what I'm saying is, I actually, let's say we just pursued this option. So I started here, after 2 moves I'm here. I then have to do a diagonal. Whoops, not that. And I then have to do a vertical. Let's try and make sure we keep the colours as pure as we can't do that. That would return us to a cell we've already visited. But I don't think it changes the principle. The principle now tells us, oh no, no, hang on. Okay, I cannot end there. I haven't done my vertical. So I do need to extend that, because that immediately confused me. I was like, oh, I can end there. But no, I can't. I can't. Because the spots I'm now ended up with I went from here to here, and the spots I've ended up in are those. So it's the same in the rows. In the rows, it works the same way. I'm going to give that back its colour. I cannot... Oh, sorry about this. Everything's going to mess up. I can restore it all. Let's restore these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So whatever the modularity is of any number now, if I want it to be on the path, it can be. But for that to be the case, yeah, all right. Okay, I now want to think about these two. Yeah, okay. In fact, I'm not... Oh, Yes. Okay. No, I'm not going to think about those two. I'm not. I'm going to think about those two. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to think about these two, if that's all right. And I want to make an argument about these two. I think neither of those two numbers, moduluses, is the same as either indigo or purple. And I'm going to try and justify that for you. Let's firstly start with this one, where you might say, well, that's 2 lanes over, Simon. If the motorway's running north to south, that's 2 lanes over, so that could be the purple modularity. No, because what we just showed is that from a row perspective, if you want to repeat this digit on the path, you can absolutely do it, but you have to repeat it in either its own row, which is a nonsense, or a gap of 1. So this digit cannot be purple. It cannot be the purple modularity digit. It just cannot be. Now, we know it's not the indigo modularity digit because the indigo modularity repeats in these columns, not in this column. So that is a new modularity. Now I'm going to look at this one. Now, this is in column 7 and it's in row 4. This is in row 1. So this one deals with odd rows. That's in an even row, so that's no use. This one deals with odd rows, so that's not the same. This one deals with even rows. So this one could, or these two could both be orange until you look at the columns again. Whereas this one, if you want to repeat its modularity on the path, it has to also work from a column perspective, and it doesn't. So that one is a new modularity that we've never seen before. So now I've got 4 different modularities. Now, there must be a way of mapping these ones, because I can't have more than 5 modularities, because I've only got 5 different digits in these things. But do I know? I mean, these have to be different. I thought I saw something before on these, before I started thinking about those. Yeah, no, that doesn't. Oh, dear. Now I'm... Well, okay, one of those can definitely be indigo. That is true. Because indigo, these are both in odd-numbered rows and columns, and this is in an odd-numbered row and column. So one of those, but only one of them, can be indigo. Now, if we look at the other 3, I don't think they work. Because this one, yeah, it's in an odd-numbered column, but it's in an even row, and this is in an odd row, so they can't be the same. Same is true for that one. This one, again, it's from a column perspective, it's parity. Parity is the wrong phrase. Parity is implying this digit's odd and even nature. I don't mean that. I actually mean purely reference to the column and the row numbers. This should share the parity vis-a-vis its column number or row number with anything, with any equivalent digit I want to claim is this colour. So if I want to claim that's purple, it doesn't work. It works from a motorway perspective that's going east to west. It doesn't from a motorway perspective that's going north to south. Let me remind you why. It's because this modularity just never appears on the path in this column. It just doesn't. And that's what we learnt at the very start. So this digit is not these 2 colours. This digit is not these 2 colours. You can see that very clearly. It's in an adjacent lane. So I think one of these is a new modularity that we've never seen before. Well, when I say a new modularity, well, yeah, it sort of is, and it's sort... No, I'm wrong. What it is... I've been dealing very much in modularities when we've just been speaking. Now, obviously, within a modularity, you can have different digits that have the same modularity. And that's what I think might be going on here. What I mean by that is that it is demonstrably true to me that neither purple, orange, or green are these digits, because they do not share a modularity. Now, the purple's modularity can absolutely be in either of these, and in fact, therefore, has to be in both. So these are the same modularity. And that's fine, because if they're 1 and 5, they are the same modularity. So we can see they're different digits, but they are the same modularity, and they're the same modularity as this one. So this is a 1-5 pair. I don't know what that... I'm going to uncolour that one, and we're going to come and think about that in just a minute. I should be able to get it. Right. Okay, one thing we can do here... I'm going to get a digit. One thing we can do here is we can say that now, because these share modularity with this digit, and one of them is a 1 on the path, that is the only time 1 appears on the path. So how could this be a 1? It can't be. That would be 2 1s on the path, because every square is on the path. So this is a 5. These are all 2, 3, and 4 in some order. And this one is a 5, I think. Because, yeah, for the way we have to... Okay, I'm getting better at understanding this. What we do is we say, okay, what's the cell? And this is in row 7, column 9, odd, odd. So we search in the puzzle for odd, odd modularity, which is given by this one. So we're in this type of modularity. So this must also be 5. It could have been 1. 1 would have worked, but we can't have 2 1s on the path. So this is indigo modularity. These are both indigo although these are both different digits, they're both indigo modularity. From the perspective of now what we're going to try and do is work out what this all means for drawing a path through this grid. That's grey. Now, this is very exciting as well, because now I have demonstrated that I have all of the digits 1 to 5 in the squares. And if I have all of the digits 1 to 5 in the squares, they are not now available for my circle digits, which are now 6, 7, 8, 9, just because they have to be. And now we know exactly how long the path is that we're drawing. Because the path now consists of 5 5s, 4 4s, but one of these is a 4, 3 3s, 2 2s, a 1, and 0 9s, because 9 is off the path, so 9 9s are off the path, 1 8, because 8 8s are off the path, 2 7s, because 7 7s are off the path, and 3 6s, because 6 6s are off the path. So we're adding 6 to 15, which is the triangular number for 5. So the square digits are telling us they account for 15 of the length of the path, and the grey digits are adding in another 6 of digits in the form of high digits that are necessarily on the path. So the length of the path is 21 cells. Now, this is a crazy puzzle. I mean, it's crazy that you have to think about motorway lanes to solve a Sudoku puzzle. But how do I actually know where the path starts. And right, here's a different question. How do I put 5 5s on the path? Because remember, whenever I have to put 5 5s on the path, but whenever I do put a 5 on the path, it has to be in a weird lattice. It's got to be... There are loads of cells that it can't be in now. Because it has to be, if we read out the row column, it's got to be 2 odd digits. Because it's always jumping to rows and columns with the same parity as this corner digit. So it can't be here. In theory that could have been, but by sudoku it can't be a second 5. So the digits that are possible, these can't be because they've already had a 5. That can't be. That can be. We know there's one in row 5, but there can't be a second one. There can't be another one in row. So this is 1, by the way. That's what we just learned there. Yeah, so look at that. The only places in the grid, the only cells in the grid that have odd sort of indexing, if you like, i.e. an odd row number and an odd column number, are those that I've just highlighted. 2 of these have to be 5s. Well, they can't both be 5, so that is a 5. Moreover, it's a 5 on the path. Now that is next to dark green, so does that mean that we can assume that those connect? Because if they did, I could always say dark green. Don't know. And one of these has to be a 4, and it has to appear 4 times on the path. I still don't understand how to do this, How are you ever going to know? I don't understand how you know where the path starts. Do you have to sort of just assume? I don't know. Let me just... I'm just going to sketch out a path from here. I'm just going to imagine that this is the start of the path. And I am going to... Are we going to go... One, 2... You see, I can get very efficiently to that one, just like that. That would work, wouldn't it? Then I could go diagonal down. I could go... I want to get to that one. I've got to go diagonally next. I could do that. Was that a problem? Don't think so. I know that's on. I know both of those are on the path. I've got to go up. Oh, that's actually really easy from there to there. I've now got to do a diagonal. Do that. Then I've got to do an up or down. I don't want to. I want to do a diagonal. Okay. I'll do that. Then I'll do a diagonal down, diagonal down. Okay, so that is... Oh, this doesn't work, by the way. This is wrong, because I have not got enough 5s on my path. But how long is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So that is 21. That's the length. All right. Okay. So that at least sheds some light on how we're meant to know what's going on here. Because what that has told us is that it's very difficult to do this in 21 cells, because I did that I'd really tried to be efficient in doing that. And I got it done, but I didn't because I haven't picked up one of those cells. So maybe we can do something different there. So I need to do a diagonal. So I could do that, couldn't I? I don't think that's cost me too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20. See, that's now 21. But how would you know whether this was the path? That is an interesting question. I don't know the answer to it. I mean, okay, maybe this is how you answer it. Maybe what you say is that whatever the path is meant to look like, we can, I think, agree that it's got to be exceptionally efficient, because that path I've just drawn there is uber efficient, in the sense that I tried to go from box to box as efficiently as I could, and I just managed to do it. Two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I don't know. I don't know how to justify this, except that this. I mean, this could be right, but that's not the same as it being forced to be correct. So, I mean, the interesting thing about this as well is, how could the path start or end anywhere but these two cells? I mean, if we say it starts there and it's got to go over there, this is introducing a whole heap of extra cells that's going to take the total way over 21. Is it something to do with knight's moves? Because we did notice early on, didn't we, that I didn't do this for the rows when we looked at that, but when we looked at the columns, we either ended up just moving a sideways movement, or we ended up, after 2 moves, or we ended up doing a knight's move, like this. And I'm just seeing those are a knight's move. But these are a knight's move, but not in the right way. Because you can't get from there to there in 2. It doesn't work. It's got to be sort of a vertical knight's move, because of the need to have a vertical component. So you can see, in going diagonally, I can go here or here. I can't go horizontally to complete a horizontal knight's move in this direction. So this to this is always going to take an extra step. Yeah, okay, here is a different point. Look at this cell and think about what would happen if the next move we had to make from here was vertical. well, then you're in a right pickle. So let's look at this cell. And if instead of doing this diagonal move to row 8, column 3, let's say I had to do a vertical move, how many would it take me to get to here? 1, 2. It's horrible. You can't do it because now I've got to do another vertical. 3, 4, and then I could close it. So 5. 5 is the minimum, I think. I'm just going to try that a different way. If I go up, it's easier. 1, 2. It's not. The sort of counting is wrong. It's like those blueprints, Morajai games. So you can do it in 5 or 3 if you go diagonally. Well, we haven't got as many degrees of freedom. So, okay, all right. So that might be interesting in terms of, okay, how you get from there to there then. Because you could see that to get between these two, there are a variety of possibilities. If we'd come into this one after a diagonal, we could have gone vertical diagonal. But we now know, I think, that's not what we do. Because if we had gone vertical diagonal, the next step from here would be vertical, and then we would take too many cells to get to this cell. So I am now going to allege that at least that portion of the path is correct. And that means this portion of the path is correct. Because what I've got to be doing is arriving into this cell from a vertical. And I'm going to suggest, and I think it must also be true to say, that given I've got these 21 cells of a path to cater for, I can't be going over here. That's just so inefficient. How am I going to get this one involved? I've got to be as efficient as I can here to do this in 21. So I'm now going to claim that 2 vertical knights moves there is rather beautiful. That allows me to have the correct count arriving in this purple one where I don't have to do a vertical out of it. I can do a horizontal and get to this within 3 cells. So I do not think it is possible to change anything in that. It would have been possible, and we saw it was possible to change how we went from purple to orange. But it's not possible if you take into the account that we need an extra 5 on the path, so we have to pick up one of these cells. Now, if I was to go from here to try and pick up this cell, it's going to be so inefficient. I'm trying to get to that one. I'm going the wrong way. That's just not going to be right. I haven't got this much latitude to play with. So this is a 5. This is a 5. This is a 1. And this is lovely. This is lovely because now I think I can do some modularity colouring. Because I'm not going to assume this green, because I haven't investigated this. I don't know this side of the diagram whether it's forced or not, but I'm going to claim that I'm absolutely going to claim that in getting from here to here, in fact, I'm now going to claim this is the start of the path as well, because you can't go from anywhere else. It would be a nonsense. So I think you have to get from here to here. I have done it as efficiently as it's humanly possible to do it. And I'm still going to struggle to get this done in 21. Let alone taking into account I've got to get all these modularities right. But the exciting thing is that orange is after indigo. So I can now colour that. Every digit after indigo modularity is orange now, so this is going to be helpful. Oh, yeah, no, okay, that's it. Oh, hang on, no, I can't do that because I don't know how I get from there to there. Okay. Orange lives on up here. What? Right, and purple is now there. That's fair. Purple is there. That's fair. So the green modularity, by sort of a process of elimination, is in these cells, because we know that these modularities were all different. And after purple, we always get an but I don't know. Well, no, I don't. I've got it. Okay, I'm going to delete this. I don't trust it, because in fact, I'm going to delete all of this. That was just a sketch in to see what was possible. But look from here. I've got to do a diagonal. I could go there or there. And then I've got to do a straight. I don't know how to do that. Okay, let's also, now the other, hang on, yeah, I was wondering about this. Oh, no, this is lovely. This is so important. Right, look at those two. Now, this is sick. Right. These are not, these are the same modularity as this digit, but they are not this digit. So what does that mean? Well, it means if this was a 2, these would both be 6. Now 6 is appearing 3 times on the path, so that's possible. If this is a 3, these are both 7, which 7 is appearing twice on the path, so that's possible. But if this is 4, these are both 8, because they have to have the same modularity, but they can't be 4. But 8 only appears once on the path, so that is not 4. It's not, okay, it wasn't as good as I hoped, but it was still something. So these digits are either 6 or 7. That's extraordinary, isn't it? Okay, let's try Sudoku on 5s. No, that's not going to work. No. Yes, I can get that one. That is a 5. Now that 5, that does give me that 5 as well. Okay, so I can do a bit with 5s. No, I can do better, actually. I can do better. I can get all the 5s. I'm not sure what that means. Okay, but we know these aren't on the path, don't we? They can't be on the path, because we've got our 5 5s on the path in the correct modularity positions. So maybe that means this is the path then. Yeah, because a horizontal move would be woefully inefficient, wouldn't it? So the path's going there. That's a vertical, so then we have to do a diagonal. Now we need to do a vertical, not into a 5, so I'm going to go that way. Now we... Oh, I see. I could go into that one. In fact, that's rather beautiful. Okay, so this is the end of the path, and it ends on an indigo. So before indigos, you get a green. If we just work back on the path here, then you get a purple, then you get an orange, and then you get another indigo, which has to be this one, doesn't it? Because we know that's on the path. We have to be efficient. And then before the indigo, we get a green. So that's going to be that one. And then before the green, we get a purple. And from here, we're doing a diagonal move. So it's there or there. I don't know which of those is likely. Oh, but this digit is now, that is the same modularity as this 2, 3, or 4, but it's the high variant, isn't it? So that's 6, 7, or 8. So this is 2, 3, or 4. That's lovely. That's 6, 7, or 8. And this one has 2 of that type on it. So these can't be 8, because 8 only appears once on the path. So this is not 4. And now I've got a 2, 3 pair in purple and green, which means that orange is 4. And if orange is 4, these ones are all 4 and 8. And now 8 has appeared on the path in column 2. So that is a 4. Because 8 only appears once on the path. But 4 has to appear again on the path. There's a 4 in one of those cells. Maybe this is, well, it would have to be that one by modularity, because the 4 can't appear on the path in this position for our motorway reasons. Now this is not a 4. This is a 2 or a 3. I'm very tempted to think that this is a 4 on the path. Before green, we need a purple. So the purple is going to be here or here. And then we need an orange. So it's going to be there, isn't it? It's going to be there and then a diagonal. Okay. I mean, I think we can prove this if the path, yeah. I mean, if that is 21 long, given we need another 4, it would have to be here, because we've got no other way of getting to it in the correct positions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I've got 2 cells left. One of them has to be the special 4, which can only be here. And the only way of getting to that is to do a diagonal to there. This is, I mean, how on earth has this been set? That's now orange. This is now purple. So these are from, we can just count now, can't we? We must be able to count. We need one of these to be on the line 3 times. This one. That is a low digit that is on the line 3 times. So it's not 2. So that's 3, which means green is 7. It means well, this is 2. One of these, I don't know which way round, but they're a 2, 6 pair. And these are both 6. I mean, how clever is this? Let me just ask you that question. How clever is this puzzle? And if your answer is off the charts clever, that is correct. 4. It's this 8, this 4. Now where's 4 in column? 4 is there. I don't really want to colour anything else. Forgive me for that, but I really don't, because I think I'll just get confused. 4 is there by Sudoku. 4 is there by Sudoku. 4 is here by Sudoku. All your 4s belong to us. Now, I haven't thought through like 6s and 8s. So that's not 6. That's not 6. That's not 7 or 8. Okay, I can't do anything with that. That's a 3 by Sudoku, for what that's worth, which is quite a lot. That's a 3 by Sudoku. Please. I will be so thrilled if I can solve this. And I know that probably sounds weird. How long have I been? I've been going an hour and a quarter. Come on. Okay, in this column, I need 1, 7, 9. 7, 9. So it's amazing, because we have got 2 7s, we've got 1 8, we've got 3 6s. It's the way it's worked, and it's balanced, and this is 21 long. I mean, it's sort of magic. It's sort of absolute magic. Now, okay, this one is not 6. I've still got to do this 2, 6. I don't know how we're going to get the ordering of that done either. 7 by sudoku is there, so that's not 7. Let's double click. Oh, well, we don't know very much about 7s at all. We just got a small win for the goodies there. Phone is buzzing. Let's not worry about that. Got bigger things, bigger fish to fry. Ah, okay, in this box, I've got 2, 6 and 9 to place, but this sees a 6, 9 pair somewhere there, so that's got to be a 2. Ah, so in this column I haven't put a 1, so I'll put a 1 down there. This becomes 7, 9. That becomes 8 then, so that must be 6. That's 9, that's 7. So we've fixed some of this column nonsense. That's a 1 at the top of the grid. This now is not 6 or 7. This is an 8, 9 pair. This digit's very achievable. That's a 6. So, okay, those digits are 2, 8, 9. Probably does something. 9 in this box is placed. So that's 9, that's 8. Oh, it's so spectacularly, oh, whoopsie. It's so brilliant, isn't it? Now, what about that column then? 1, 2, 3 to place. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3. Bobbins, that's what we say about that. That was not as good as I was hoping. Okay, let's try this row then. 8 and 9 to place. So these are the old bus I used to get from Beckenham Junction Station. There are 1, 2, 6 triple. That's got to be a 1 by sudoku. 1, 2, 6. It was never there on time. We'll go back to the Swanee where pellagra makes you scrawny and the honeysuckle clutters up the vine. I really am a fixin' to go home and start a mixin' down below that Mason-Dixon line. Poll tax, how I love ya, my dear old poll tax. Sorry, but you can't go wrong with a bit of Tom Lehrer. Can't do it. Please, don't be anything too horrendous. Maybe we've got to colour 2s and 6s or something. Possibly true. What about 8? 8 is in one of those 2 cells. What sort of... Where do we think that the digit is that's going to help me here? 9 is in one of those. In this row, I need 1, 2, 3, and 8. Okay, so that is a 1, 2, or a 3. That does see 8 up here. But that could be 8. Is there some rule I've forgotten about counting how many thingies appear on the thingies? Might be. 6. Oh, that was nearly a good thought. 6 is in 2 positions. Okay, so 6, I can't get it, but 6 in column thingy. Column 7 is restricted now. I don't think I can get it anyway. What about 6? Let's see if that was a 6. That would be a 6. That would be splendid. Splendid, Melchard. 1379. So this digit is a 1 or a 7, believe it or not. Sees 3 and 9 in the column. That digit, 1, 3, that's a 7 or a 9. So that's almost interest. Okay, here is a totally weird question. Where's 3 in column 9? If we actually scan down, there's a 3 here, so it's not there. There's a 3 there, so it's not there. So there's a 3 in the corner. And that's 3 in the corner, that's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. That's actually doing work, you know. That is doing work. This 6 makes that the 2. So the 2 and the 6 are resolved now, which means that is the 6 that we were looking for. That is a 6. So this is a 9 in the corner of the puzzle. That's a 6. I feel like we just did all the 6s in the last couple of seconds. This is a 2-8 pair. Unresolved. Never mind. Okay, what about the bottom row then? 7, 8, 9 into those cells. That's not 9. Okay, that didn't quite work, did it? What about, okay, let's try, oh, there's a 9 here, that's good. So 8 and 9 can go in. That makes this a 7, makes this a 1. So let's go back to this column. 2, 7, 8 into this cell. It's not 2, so that's 7 or 8. The 2 in the column goes here. 2, 8. This is now a 9. That should be a something. Technical term for a 3. Oh, so 3s have been done, I think, forever. Oh yeah, 3s have all been done. Could have done them ages ago. Didn't notice it. 9s then. Yeah. There we go. 2 in that row, so that's 2 and 1 done. That becomes a 1. We need 2 and 8. 2 and 8. 8 goes here. We need a 7 up there, and we need a something. Technical term for a 2. Okay, this is a 1. That's a 7. Yeah, we've done it. 8, 7, 7. You can't. That cannot be by accident. That's one of the great puzzles that I have ever solved in my life. On and Off by Kaktuslav. 1 hour and 22 minutes of sheer unbridled, unalloyed joy at the hands of a complete sudoku genius. Kaktuslav, take a bow. That's mad. That is mad. That is a mad puzzle that required motorway-esque solving in order to be able to understand it. But isn't it beautiful? It's absolutely amazing. Isn't it amazing that that rule set yields that path and it all somehow works? I think it's amazing. That's an incredible one. Absolutely incredible. Let me know in the comments how you got on with it. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.